What's up, guys? Chris Brown, otherwise known as Chain Stasis Wellness, coming at you with another nutritional tip or wellness moment. Today, I want to talk about using fasting or intermittent fasting, maybe, for gastrointestinal healing. In the last few weeks, I talked about oxalates, lectins, and other anti nutrients you might be consuming in your diet, and how these things might be affecting your wellness. These substances, remember, they damage the gastrointestinal lining and can worsen the rate at which your lining can recover from stress and or trauma. Generally speaking, as foods pass through your tubes, there is some wear and tear normally. However, your intestines regenerate this transitional wall or epithelium quite rapidly. This wall contains a limited number of long-living stem cells that can essentially replicate multiple different types of cells by themselves. There's a couple types called enterocytes. They deal with helping you absorb nutrients. That's what you do in your intestines. Goblet cells help create a mucus barrier to help protect the edges. Enteroendocrine cells, they help with the hormone production. And Paneth cells that help with antibacterial effects. And it can do this rapidly, which can help split up and rebuild tissue quickly, normally. It is the best self-renewing tissue in mammals. The human body literally has billions of cells turning over every day, which to some extent is kind of necessary in the human body. So this area really needs to do it, or else it would just fall apart. It's pretty cool, right? I wish we could use that in every part of our body. Well, not so fast. The problem is when stem cells replicate like this, there's always a chance that they can get something wrong in the DNA sequence, which can result in potentially cancerous or malignant cell growth. So more isn't always better. Luckily, our bodies are pretty good at regulating this process. As we get older, however, most of our systems generally start to go to the decline. Guess what? 30 plus, you're probably already on the decline. Sorry, people. Additionally, we put our bodies through stress, injuries, surgeries, eating lots of heavily processed foods, eating lots of anti-nutrients and acidic foods, alcohol, and just drugs, and generally overworking our system, especially by overeating these processed foods. And this kind of works the GI system to the point of exhaustion. Even our psychological stressors are directly tied to the GI system, and they may cause impaired function of this system. At this point, it's pretty well documented that there's a fairly strong brain gut and gut brain connection. Not only does the brain talk to the gut, thinking of something might make you feel physically sick, right? But the gut also talks to the brain too. Problems in the colon seem to be directly linked to development of anxiety and depression. This is probably why people expressing high levels of anxiety often complain of GI stressors, the most common of which is IBS, or irritable bowel syndrome. At best, over time, we are inefficiently absorbing nutrients we need for every aspect of our health and performance if we're doing this damage. At worst, we are doing permanent damage to the system, including potentially formation of tumors that may become malignant and cause cancer. There's a lot we're still learning about this connection and the system in general, so we don't want to read too much into it, but there's also a lot we have already learned. Interestingly, there may even be a difference between the right and left side of your colon and how it interacts with the right and left side of your brain through the corpus callosum, which is that bridge of sending signals right to left. Notably, it seems that individuals who develop colon cancer on the left side of the colon have approximately a 19% better chance of survival rate. There's a decent amount of studies on this. We also know that the types of colon cancers on both sides of cells are not the same. Why is that? We don't know for sure. Could this be due to that connection? I don't know, but it certainly warrants our attention. So, what can we do about this wear and tear on our systems? Of course, we're not going to be perfect all the time. No one's expecting that of you or even me. But we can help our systems, and that's what I'm here for. You see, a system can't rest when it's constantly active, and recovery is super important for every aspect of our wellness. Imagine working 7 days a week and never taking a day off. You would never actually be fully rested. Eventually, you'd get sick and mentally burnt out. No good. This is true of the musculoskeletal system, nervous system, lymphatic system, basically every system in our body. They do need time to recover, and not all of them are exactly the same. Digestion takes quite a while, however, and that is the work on our gastrointestinal system. It takes 6 to 8 hours for food to go through our stomach and small intestines alone. And then it takes 36 hours total for it to fully vacate on average. That's average, not even close to the worst. We are quite literally full of it. And that's probably where the saying came from, right? Maybe when you're full and you can't get things out of your intestine, you're not a nice person. That's probably it. I don't know. This is possibly one reason why some studies have shown that humans who ate less volume and or less frequently tended to live longer. I just talked about the book Ikigai and the centenarians who live over 100 years. One of the things they talk about is eating less or only eating till you're about 80% full. I don't know. There isn't any definitive proof on that, but potentially eating less is less stress on the GI system, which then allows you to live longer. So, a juice cleanse, get rid of all these toxins, right? For the love of God, no. Cayenne pepper and sugar water is not going to help you cleanse anything except your wallet. Your kidneys and liver take care of that stuff. Okay, guys? Don't try to do any quick fixes. There isn't such a thing, okay? Unfortunately, what it seems to be to give our system a rest is we need to stop all eating of all calories for a while. Obviously, you can drink water to allow the intestines to repair themselves. They do this through a process called autophagy and stem cell regeneration. All right. Under normal circumstances without fasting, it takes the GI tract about 5 days to repair itself. On the bright side, you probably don't need to give your system a full 24 hours to fast to actually reap these healing benefits. It seems like you can get away with somewhere around 14 to 18 hours, and you can do a good chunk of this while you sleep. If you listen to my other stuff, you know we probably on average want about 7 to 9 hours of sleep. Good, you're about halfway done. Sleep is, after all, the best time for growth, healing, and regeneration, especially when you get into those deep sleep stages. Remember what I talked about in previous videos. During this time of gut rest, your GI tract will be able to heal damage, restore the proper gut microbiota, and allow for the proper secretion of hormones and absorption of micronutrients again. It can also reduce distension, bloating, and feelings of nausea, which, as we know, you don't feel great when that's happening. If you find that you're getting stuck in a point where you can't get rid of these symptoms, even if you eat healthier, maybe this is what you need. On top of this, while you may feel uncomfortable for not eating for so long, some studies have shown that fasting state will help you with general stress, anxiety, and even depression in some cases. This particular study had participants fast for only 14 hours, so there is hope for those of you who can't handle longer fasts. I would be negligent not to point out that not everyone should attempt fasting without medical supervision. If you have an issue with insulin problems or blood pressure, for instance, probably a bunch more things, fasting may not go well. So do talk to your medical provider if you're thinking about going on a fast, especially a longer one. Also, there is a diet called intermittent fasting that's gained popularity lately. This does mimic this in chunks, and it can have similar effects, so it could be good for you. But it doesn't always work with everyone's lifestyle. And as we know, when things don't easily fit into your lifestyle, the chances of you continuing them long term are pretty much close to zero. So don't try to make it work if it doesn't feel like it will work for you on a regular basis. Now, if you're not okay with fasting or you can't do it very frequently, without fasting, you can still help yourself. What we just got to do is stop eating so much of the traditional American diet. I don't mean the ideal traditional American diet, I mean the typical one. Processed carbohydrates and fats and low amounts of protein. That is what the average American eats. It is normal, or it is common, but it's not normal. Common, but not normal. Lots of people do it. Doesn't mean it's good for us. Doesn't mean it's normal, right? Processed foods not only increase the level of damage and inflammation of the gut, but they aren't as filling. So they lead to overeating. This not only leads to obesity, which can cascade into more and global bodily stress, but it also plugs up the GI tract, slowing the whole process down. Additionally, these foods just aren't as nutritionally dense, so you'll need and crave more of these foods just to get adequate nourishment. So, to summarize, maybe once every few months or so, try out a fast of 16 hours or so. It will help improve your health. It may help improve your emotional state and possibly extend your life. Give it a shot. It might be just what you need to get over a particular wellness slump. Okay, guys, so that's all I have for this week. If you like this content, please share it with friends. And if you are watching it on YouTube, like and subscribe. I'm sure it helps me out. Otherwise, until next time, thank you so much and be well.